Across the vast canvas of existence, from the sprawling, indifferent cosmos to the intricate, often turbulent landscape of the human mind, we seek an anchor. In an age of relentless anxiety, fleeting digital connections, and an overwhelming sense of powerlessness, the ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers not a fleeting comfort, but a profound transformation. This is not a superficial self-help regimen, nor a series of quick fixes. This is a journey into the very bedrock of your being, a deliberate confrontation with the self, a 30-day immersion into a philosophy forged in the crucible of adversity. It is a challenge to reclaim your mind, to fortify your spirit, and to find an unwavering tranquility amidst life's inevitable storms. Imagine for a moment a fortress, not of stone and mortar, but of consciousness itself. Within its walls, you are sovereign. Outside, the world rages, indifferent to your will. This is the Stoic concept of the inner citadel, a sanctuary Marcus Aurelius so often retreated to in the tumultuous silence of his own thoughts. In our modern age, besieged by endless notifications, societal pressures, and the relentless hum of external demands, this inner space is often neglected, its defenses crumbling. The first step in transforming your mind is to understand and meticulously guard this domain. It means recognizing that the true battle is never external, but always waged within the confines of your own perception, judgment, and reactions. The winds of public opinion, the tides of misfortune, the fire of another's unkindness. These are external forces. How you interpret and respond to them, however, is entirely within the jurisdiction of your will. Building this citadel is not an act of isolation, but an assertion of self-mastery, a deliberate choice to inhabit your own mind with unwavering intentionality. It is the foundation upon which all other Stoic practices are built. To find peace amidst the chaos, we must first confront the stark truth of what lies within our power and what does not. This is Epictetus's fundamental teaching, the dichotomy of control. Most of our suffering stems from grasping at that which is external, trying to bend the world to our will, only to be met with frustration and despair. Consider the toxic relationship. You cannot control another's malice, their insensitivity, or their choices. You cannot force them to change. Similarly, in professional setbacks, you cannot control the market, the decisions of superiors, or the actions of competitors. What you can control are your judgments about these events, your attitudes, your intentions, and your responses. This distinction is not a license for passivity, but a call to liberate your energy from fruitless struggles. It frees you to pour your focus, your effort, and your virtue into the only realm where your power is absolute, your inner self. To genuinely internalize this truth is to lay down the burden of the universe and pick up the singular, weighty responsibility of your own mind. We are conditioned to hope for the best, to envision success and smooth sailing. Yet, life in its relentless impartiality often delivers otherwise. Seneca, in his profound wisdom, urged us not merely to hope, but to prepare, to practice the premeditation of evils. Premeditatio Malorum. This is not a morbid dwelling on misfortune, but a potent exercise in mental resilience. By soberly contemplating potential professional setbacks, the deterioration of health, or the inevitable loss of loved ones, we strip these events of their shock value, their sudden crippling blow. When a project fails, when illness strikes, when a relationship withers, the Stoic who has considered these possibilities experiences not surprise, but a quiet recognition. The emotional turbulence is lessened, the ground less likely to give way beneath their feet. It is a dress rehearsal for life's tragedies, allowing us to build the mental fortitude to endure them, not as victims of fate, but as conscious navigators of its currents. It reveals that much of our fear is fear of the unknown, and through this practice we illuminate the path ahead. To simply accept what happens is one thing. To truly love what happens, Amor Fati, is another entirely. This is perhaps the most challenging, yet most liberating aspect of Stoicism, championed by Marcus Aurelius. It's not a passive resignation, but an active, almost joyful affirmation of every event, every circumstance, precisely because it is. When faced with failure, loss, or health anxiety, the natural human impulse is to resist, to rail against the injustice or the pain. But what if instead we embraced these very events as integral, indispensable threads in the tapestry of our existence? What if we understood them not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, for demonstrating virtue, for honing our character? To love fate is to recognize that everything that befalls us, whether seemingly good or bad, serves a purpose in the grand interconnected design of the cosmos. It is to say yes to life in its totality, thereby transforming potential suffering into a profound wellspring of strength and wisdom. It is to find beauty in the scar and purpose in the fall. In a world obsessed with external metrics of success, wealth, status, power, fame, Stoicism presents a radical counter-narrative. Virtue is the sole good. For Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius alike, everything else, health, possessions, reputation, even life itself, is an indifferent. This does not mean these things are worthless, but that they hold no inherent moral value. They can be used for good or ill, but they cannot in themselves make us virtuous or happy. When we confront professional setbacks or the painful sting of failure, our instinct is often to feel diminished, to lament the loss of these external goods. But the Stoic understands that true wealth lies within, in the cultivation of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These are the only things that can never be taken from us, the only possessions that truly belong to us. By shifting our focus from the acquisition of externals to the unwavering pursuit of virtue, we become impervious to the whims of fortune, finding a deep, abiding satisfaction that transcends the fluctuating tides of worldly success and failure. Toxic relationships are among the most draining challenges of modern life. They test our patience, erode our self-worth, and threaten to shatter our inner peace. The Stoic approach is not one of cold indifference to others, but a profound understanding of the indifference to externals when applied to the actions and characters of those around us. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that people will act according to their nature, often driven by ignorance or vice. We cannot change them, nor should we allow their flaws to disturb our own tranquility. Instead, we are called to practice understanding, patience, and if necessary, a strategic detachment. This means setting boundaries, not in anger, but in the spirit of preserving our own virtue. It means recognizing that the harm caused by others is not in their actions themselves, but in our judgment of those actions. We can choose to be provoked, or we can choose to remember the common humanity, the shared struggle, and to maintain our own integrity despite their failings. This detachment is not apathy. It is the ultimate act of self-care and self-respect, protecting the inner citadel from external invasion. In an age that often seeks to deny or medicalize death, the Stoics embraced it as an ever-present reality, a powerful philosophical tool. Remember that you must die. Memento Mori is not a macabre invitation to despair, but a profound catalyst for life. For those gripped by health anxiety or those reeling from the profound emptiness of loss, this truth offers a stark yet liberating perspective. Marcus Aurelius meditated on the fleeting nature of all things, reminding himself that soon you'll be ashes or bones. This awareness strips away trivial concerns, exposes the pettiness of grudges, and sharpens our focus on what truly matters, living virtuously in the present moment. It urges us to seize the day not with hedonistic abandon, but with purposeful action, to cherish the relationships we have, and to make our every breath count. By accepting our own finitude and the impermanence of all things, we paradoxically free ourselves from the fear of it, cultivating a profound appreciation for the fragile, beautiful gift of existence. A common misconception of Stoicism is that it encourages passivity, a resigned acceptance of fate that leads to inaction. Nothing could be further from the truth. While Stoicism teaches us to accept what we cannot control, it simultaneously demands vigorous, virtuous action in the sphere where we do have influence. Seneca implored his students to be active participants in life, to engage with the world, and to strive for self-improvement and the betterment of humanity. This is not about merely enduring professional setbacks, but about learning from them, adapting and applying renewed effort where it truly counts. It is not about passively suffering toxic relationships, but about actively setting boundaries, communicating clearly, and, if necessary, disengaging with integrity. The 30-day challenge, then, culminates in this understanding, that Stoicism provides the intellectual and emotional framework to act with purpose, courage, and wisdom, even when the outcome is uncertain. It is a philosophy of engaged living, where every moment is an opportunity to practice virtue and contribute meaningfully to the world. However small that contribution may seem, we have traversed the rugged terrain of Stoic thought, confronted the relentless challenges of modern existence through the lens of ancient wisdom. This 30-day challenge is not a finish line, but merely the first tentative steps on a lifelong pilgrimage. You have encountered the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind to be diligently maintained. You've drawn the liberating line of the dichotomy of control, releasing your grip on the unmanageable. We've faced adversity head-on through Premeditatio Malorum, and learned to embrace all of life with Amor Fati. You have glimpsed the true wealth of virtue, navigated the complexities of human connection, and acknowledged the profound lessons offered by Memento, Mori, all to fuel a life of proactive Stoicism. Stoicism does not promise a life devoid of pain or struggle. Rather, it offers the profound resilience to meet these realities, not with despair, but with equanimity, strength, and unwavering purpose. It is a quiet revolution, fought not on battlefields, but within the confines of your own consciousness. The transformation begins now, not with a sudden revelation, but with the diligent daily practice of these principles. Let the echoes of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus guide your path, illuminating the profound truth that within you lies the power to shape your perception, to control your reactions, and to live a life of profound meaning, regardless of the world's shifting sands. The journey continues.